How could he do this to me? Why of all the people on earth did I get this particular brother? I don't have the strength to fight him anymore. Hello, my name is Amelia. I'm 15, and my family hates me. People say that the youngest child in the family is loved a little more. Judging by my parents, this is a blatant lie, because there was no place for me in my family. In the first place of parental love, there was always only one child, Adam, my older brother. Everyone loved him. Well, except for me, because our relationship went sour with him right away. Since my childhood, he's done nothing but poison my life. At first, it was small childish mischief, but over time, his hatred for me went into overdrive. And the parents, no matter what he did, they were always only on his side. I'm used to it. Of course, I wanted my parents to pay attention to me at least once. I honestly tried to attract their attention with my studies and good behavior, but for them there was always only Adam. And then Adam crossed the line. I spent 6 months preparing for a very important drawing contest. This was my chance. The winner of the competition got the opportunity to enter an art school for free, and then to university. I felt a craving for it. I worked on the picture for days, interrupting only for lessons and food. It was important to me that every detail was done perfectly. The shadows fell as correctly as possible. I really needed a victory, and I don't know what possessed me to tell my parents about it. Actually, I just said at dinner that the next day I would have to be taken to one place, to the place where the competition entries were accepted. And then I went to bed, not yet suspecting that I had made a rod for my own back. When I woke up in the morning, I saw that the painting, which had been standing on the easel for 6 months, was gone. It was neither in the room nor outside it, and my parents' car was also missing. And Adam. I was about to run on foot to school or to the drawing studio. I didn't fully understand where exactly I needed to go, but then Adam came back. He snickered, came up to me, grabbed my hand, and in a mocking tone, he said that my picture was really very good. At first, he wanted to spoil it, but he realized that such beauty could not be destroyed just like that. So he gave it to his girlfriend, who also likes to draw. He was sure that his girlfriend would win the competition with my work. And when I tried to scream, my dear brother just tied me up and carried me to his room, and he said not to yell loudly, otherwise it would be worse. I spent 3 hours tied up in his room while he was sitting at the computer and playing some stupid game. I cried, begged him to let me go, said that I would complain, but he didn't care. Then, apparently, Adam got tired of listening to my screams and he just left. Or maybe he went to congratulate his girlfriend. I didn't know. I freed myself by a miracle. There was a metal projection in the headboard of his bed. I didn't know what for, so I sawed the ropes off using this projection. But it was already too late. The contest was over. Adam sent me a text message that my picture took first place. They even want to take it to the gallery. Of course, under the name of his girlfriend. Once again, because of my brother, I lost something that was dear to me. Only this time, it wasn't a favorite doll or a backpack with pigs. This time, he managed to steal my future. But the most offensive thing is, I told my parents about everything. I showed my rubbed wrists, the rope. I cried because I couldn't calm down, and they said that it was all my fault. And indeed, I slandered my own brother. Maybe I set it all up to get back at him. And I decided that this was not a bad advice. Being good had never helped. Maybe it was time to become bad. In fact, my plan of revenge was not very successful. I knew it myself, but I had no other choice. I just stole Adam's gym uniform from the school locker room right before the game, and spoiled it a little, and then I put everything back and waited. And of course it didn't work because Adam just took a spare uniform and calmly went to play. But I, after he brought home a ruined uniform, got the works. My parents deprived me of my pocket money and locked me up at home for a week as a punishment. And you know, it wouldn't gall me if my parents punished Adam for something like this at least once. He had ruined my clothes a million times, even in front of my parents, and never, not once, they didn't say a word to him. In desperation, I decided to go to the mat. Since I am so unwanted in my family, I can leave, for good. And I left. At night, I packed a backpack and jumped out of the window. And then I just went to wander through the streets of the city. I didn't have any money, nor did I have any food, but I just wanted to be away from relatives who didn't like me. My wanderings ended literally the very next evening. The police caught me in the park. I was just trying to get a bed for the night on a local bench. They took me home, and what happened next surprised me incredibly, because my parents didn't even notice that I hadn't been home for a day. For the rest of the week of punishment, I was in no hurry to leave the room myself. I was in so much pain that I didn't even want to get out of bed. And during all this time, only Adam came to me to tell me a couple of nasty things. Since then, I have not tried to communicate with my family anymore. On the contrary, I tried to do everything to cross paths with them as little as possible, especially with Adam. Yes, I still dreamed that at least someone would love me someday, but in these dreams, my parents, and especially my brother, were no longer there. And then there was a moment that changed my whole life. There was a fire in our school, An alarm went off on the school radio, and the teachers began to take us out of the building according to the evacuation rules. No one panicked. We all decided that the alarm was a training one. By chance, I saw my brother and his friends separate from the class and go somewhere to the storeroom under the stairs. What for? And who knows? Maybe they were hiding something there or just decided to sit out the training alarm in a more interesting place. But it turned out that the fire was real. When we went out into the courtyard, we saw it for ourselves. The right wing of the building was really in smoke, and firefighters were already there. But the fire was apparently quite strong, and in a couple of minutes, it reached the central building. Adam was inside the school, and no one knew about it. There were other things to worry about. I had to warn the teachers, the firemen, somehow help my brother get out. But at the same time, my bad part was telling me, be quiet, no need, someone else will help them. I did the right thing. I shouted to the teachers standing nearby that there were children at school, and I ran inside myself. We were all very lucky that Adam was on the first floor, because even from there, I could feel the fire humming upstairs. We got out and escaped. We weren't even hurt except for my shortness of breath. Very unexpectedly, but I became a hero for the whole school, and it was satisfaction to me. Maybe Adam and my parents will be able to love me now, I thought naively. But Adam never came to me, not at school, not at home, not even when the fire was reported on TV. And they showed a report of me heroically rushing into a burning building after my brother. He locked himself in his room and did not come out. But our parents often sat with him and talked about something. I didn't hear about what. I was just too happy to be noticed. My parents smiled at me for the first time, spoke to me first. Dad even asked how I was doing with drawing, and Mom patted my head. It was such happiness. And a couple of days later, my parents themselves came to my room and asked if I wanted to transfer to another school. Special, artistic, very, very good. And that's when I first became wary. This offer was too perfect. But the parents continued to smile and behave like a real loving family. And I agreed. And Adam? Well, maybe my heroic act broke him, and he still couldn't come to his senses. But on the day of departure, that was me who ended up broken, once again. The whole family came to see me off on the bus. The school was in a neighboring state. I was supposed to be met at the bus station. Dad was carrying my suitcase, Mom was smiling and holding my hand tightly, and Adam, when they announced the boarding, he could not stand it. While my parents were putting the suitcases in the luggage compartment, he grabbed my hand and began to hiss in my face that they finally got rid of me. This was a boarding school. I couldn't escape from there. To my question, for what? The parents also came clean. It turned out that Adam told them a completely different story of his rescue. According to his version, it was me who locked him in the storeroom. I meanly entrapped him and locked him up, and he and his friends couldn't get out, and then I saved him myself when I got afraid that I would be caught. And of course my parents believed them, Adam, and then they decided to get rid of the criminal. I didn't even cry. I silently got on the bus, turned to the window, and sat in the same position for all 6 hours of the road. It was empty inside and very, very cold. They just got rid of me. I was preparing in advance for the fact that I would end up in a closed prison for young criminals. But the woman who met me at the bus station was very nice. The kids at school were kind to me, and the art teacher immediately said that I had real talent. At first, I was waiting for a trick. And then I was surprised to realize that this new school is the most wonderful place in my life. Of course, there were its own rules and laws, but they did not ignore me. On the contrary, they tried to involve me in various school events and praise me even for small things. I made friends, and I could draw in peace, not expecting Adam to burst into my room and ruin everything. And then, when I was already used to the calmness, my parents suddenly arrived. Actually, it wasn't a visiting day, but they were allowed in, and they even persuaded me to go out to talk to them, although I didn't really want to. I was afraid that they would take me home. I was waiting for new accusations, swearing or ignoring, but the parents, they asked for forgiveness, and they asked very sincerely. My mother even started crying. It turned out, with my departure from home, a real hell began. Adam, when I left, discovered that now that his favorite target for bullying was no longer there, he switched to the parents and the other kids from school. For 6 months, my brother did such a thing that my parents could simply not stand it. They realized how much they were wrong about him and about me too. They just wanted me to give them a second chance. And how could I not forgive them? They're my parents. I love them no matter what. We made up, although I refused to return home, but now we talk on the phone every day. My parents are interested in success and recently came to my first exhibition of paintings. I don't know what will happen next and how I will communicate with my brother, but so far everything suits me. I'm in a circle of people who love and appreciate me, and everything has been fine with my parents. But about Adam, do you think he'll ever be able to improve? And will I ever be able to forgive him? Let me know in the comments.